Christmas is for everyone. It doesn't discriminate. You don't have to have a job, a family, or even a place to stay to celebrate it. It just comes, regardless of who you are or your situation. In Manhattan, there's a place where everyone goes to celebrate Christmas. It's called the Festival of Lights.
The Festival of Lights was really the brainchild of Colin Noble. And his idea was great and relatively modest, really. He wanted to put up a big Christmas tree, and the more we got in talking about it, we thought, let's put up a really big tree. And then the idea grew to create a Christmas center that would make Manhattan kind of a focal point for the region for Christmas. And the idea of this festival was always to have a place for kids, especially, and families to come celebrate Christmas.
Well, I think the Festival of Lights gives a location and a purpose and an event for families to come together. In the wintertime, there's really not a lot of places that you can take children, especially with the holidays. You can go to the mall or a few other places, but I hear stories about how people bring their families to Manhattan now so that they can experience the Festival of Lights.
Well, I can tell you that, first of all, it was like being in the North Pole. So, not because it was cold. I mean, it was very definitely cold, but being at the North Pole, because the feeling of Christmas, the spirit of Christmas was there. I mean, you could tell everybody was happy. It was raining. One day it was raining and still people were coming and they were having a good time. Everybody stopped by to just get the hot cocoa. And I have to say that the spirit of Christmas was there, and that was great.
One of the fun parts of the Festival of Lights is that there is a box on the southwest corner of the Blue Earth Plaza near Santa's sleigh for people to drop in letters to Santa. And one of the letters had asked if they could have a toothbrush, and if it wasn't too much trouble, if it could be a blue one. And that story touched a lot of our hearts, and so during our committee meeting when we were trying to decide what to do, we kept coming back to that story, and so we decided that somehow we wanted to provide answers to those letters to Santa and also help out those kids that might be struggling to get their most basic needs met during the Christmas season.
The idea behind the Festival of Lights is to give everybody in the community an opportunity to experience the same thing and not have to have money or have a certain status or a certain membership to experience it. And so you automatically think of those less fortunate in the area. So the emergency shelter is the first thing that comes to mind.
The Manhattan Emergency Shelter is a temporary homeless shelter that serves men, women, and families with children. And we provide a temporary place for people to stay who find themselves without a home or a regular fixed place to stay at night. We see people that come in off the streets, sometimes living out of their cars, abandoned buildings, maybe friends and relatives, or eviction notices, and they have to vacate their place and find themselves with nowhere else to go. We like to look at ourselves as a hand up, not a handout, and we hope that our clients learn life skills from us that they can then utilize for the rest of their life.
In the Manhattan community, you don't see people sleeping outside, but that doesn't mean that there aren't homeless individuals and families in the community. Last year we served over 500 people. I think about 120 of those were children, and just because they're not outside doesn't mean they're not there.
I work with the men and disabled individuals. Our other case manager manages the women and the families. And so when somebody comes in and is in need of shelter, we'll identify what their big obstacles are and what services we need to employ to help them overcome what's going on in their situation.
The case managers come to me and ask if they can get things for clients that they need and fulfill their needs, and I want to be able to say yes every time. But my role as a finance officer is to be realistic, and I can't always say yes. I want to be able to. So the one thing that I would ask the community for is financial backing so that I can say yes every time that there's a need.
For the last 4 years, we've continued to raise $100,000 to $130,000, and all of that money is coming from local businesses. Nothing about it is cheap. Everything about it is rewarding. To watch the kids playing down there, that's what we wanted.
The Festival of Lights is a gift given to the community that is financially supported by the community, so that everyone can celebrate Christmas. When you support Festival of Lights, you're supporting Christmas for everyone. Help us celebrate, won't you?